in Iowa, it's expected that next school year, taxpayers will hand over nearly $3.5 million directly to parents who choose to send their K-12 kids to private schools like this one here in Mason City. The price tag for these education savings accounts, or vouchers, is climbing. That's because income limits on them have been lifted, giving taxpayer money even to the wealthiest of families. I asked State Auditor Rob Sand what's most worrisome about this pricey program.
One of the things that keeps me up at night about this is just the idea that they have literally written a law that says, hey, the auditor's not allowed to look here. I mean, imagine that a law was passed that said cops aren't allowed to patrol on county roads in Iowa. Where do you suppose people would go to do everything that they wanted to do that was illegal?
The legislation that allowed this to happen was passed by Governor Kim Reynolds and Republican lawmakers in 2023. Private schools receiving funds through the voucher program are not subject to the same budgeting requirements, public meetings, or audit obligations as public schools. That means there's no public tracking on how these taxpayer dollars are spent once they reach private school coffers.
And that is exactly because of the law that they passed in 2023, allowing state agencies to deny the auditor's office access to records. At the time, we called it the biggest pro-corruption law in the state of Iowa. Nonpartisan, auditing-focused government watchdog entities around the country said that this was going to be something that could increase waste, fraud, and abuse.
Most of the problem with the voucher program is there is very little transparency about any of this. There's not transparency about the education curriculum. There's not transparency about the finances used to fund those schools. And so that taxpayer dollar going off into this black hole, maybe it will be used properly, maybe not.
We verify. That's our job as state government. We need to make sure that those state tax dollars are being spent appropriately and that nobody is engaged in any funny business with our funds. I mean, that is our responsibility to the people of Iowa. And yet, when it comes to these private entities, anything goes.
Iowa's vouchers are parent-directed accounts, and that means this fall, students going to this Catholic school will each qualify for almost $8,000 to be spent on whatever the parent chooses. One kid with wealthy parents might get special support services to help get them ahead in life, while another kid with parents who aren't rich will just scrape by.
So if they wanted to send their favorite teacher to Europe for the summer on an all-expenses-paid trip, that would be legal, and I don't know how we'd find out about it. If they wanted to buy all new fancy leather furniture for the teacher's lounge, that would be legal.
So I have referred to the private school voucher program in Iowa as money laundering, because what happens is the money goes to the individual families, the parents of the students, and then they spend it on the private school tuition or a whole list of other kinds of programs and services that they could spend it on. So that is why our state claims that we're not allowed to expect anything of the private schools, that we can't hold them accountable for standards, that we can't require them to do any reporting to us, because the money's actually going to the parents and not to the school.